Hello, my loves. So it is Scary Storytime Sunday, and that's what the fuck we're doing. Right, Fredward? Right? He's excited. Very excited. He's usually speechless. So I didn't have anything big prepared for tonight because I've been really sick and or really busy. So we're going to do some stories. Tonight we're just going to do one story, but I'm going to start reading again from my Horrors 365 Scary Stories. Get your daily dose of terror book because it is a spooktacular. Isn't it, Fredward? He actually picked it out. We got it at a thrift store for like $3. It is such a good book. These stories are incredible. I'm going to call them mini stories. Not that that was hard to come up with or anything, but yeah, they're super good. There's all kinds of different writers in this book, so you really get a different genre. Not a different genre, they're all scary stories, but you get a different type of scary story through the whole book. Some are like, what the fuck? Some are ew. Some are, oh my god. It's great. Okay, well, this first story, it is literally story number 1 in this spooktacular book. I'm going to say that a lot because it is spooktacular. This first story is called A Huntin' We Will Go, and it is by Linda J. Dunn. I have read some stories by her, and she is a pretty darn good writer, so look her up. Okay. Jeremy walked slowly toward his victim. Did you get the deer, son? His dad asked. Jeremy stared down at the deformed body lying at his feet. I think I shot a goat. Damn. His dad spat at the ground before stomping over to kick the lifeless form. Anywho, don't look like no goat I've ever seen. Shit. Jeremy almost fell backward as his dad flipped the goat's head around and they both saw the single horn. His dad hesitated only a second before whipping open his fanny pack, I bet that was attractive, and pulling out the folding hacksaw. Not a word of this to anyone, ever. But Dad, you heard me, he said, sawing off the animal's right foreleg just before the knee. Ain't no way we want to get caught with something like this in our possession, son. I'll finish off these legs and you toss them in the creek back there. We'll get the guts for the coyotes and I'll carry the rest back to camp. He tossed the first leg in Jeremy's direction and started sawing again. Ew, hunting is so brutal. Jeremy stared at the thing his dad was working on. Unicorns were supposed to be beautiful, horse-like animals. This thing was ugly as fucking sin. Got it, Jer? Jeremy looked up and blinked. For just a moment, he thought he saw something moving nearby. Jer, you paying attention to me or are you off daydreaming again? Huh? Jeremy looked down and realized there were 4 leg parts in front of him. You want me to toss them now? If you can manage. The sarcasm in his father's voice hurt. Jeremy tried. He really did. Hunting just was not his thing. It's not my thing neither. How about you, Fredward? Is it your thing? No, Fredward hates hunting. We eat tacos, for fuck's sakes. Anywho, hunting wasn't his thing, and neither was baseball. Hockey and football were out too. Okay, he's just not into sports. He'd rather be home in front of the computer. Oh, he's a fellow nerd like me. Sweet. He picked up the still warm legs and walked a few feet to the ditch. He tried not to think about it as he pitched the stuff aside. But he felt the still warm blood trickling down his wrist, and he lost it. I don't blame the poor sap. Leaning against the nearest tree, he vomited up everything he'd eaten for breakfast, and then he dry heaved for what seemed like ever. His dad walked up beside him and slapped him on the back. Just wait till we've done this a few times. You'll learn to love it. Okay. Jeremy wiped his mouth with his shirt sleeve as his dad shoved something at him. Here, stick this in your pack. What is it? The horn. I thought you might like to have a trophy. Oh, God, it really was a Shut up. There ain't no such thing. Some kind of mutant, that's all. It really was a unicorn. Jeremy whispered as his dad picked up the animal's remains, and I killed it, he said all proudly. He stuffed the horn into his pack and stumbled to his feet. His dad strolled along like they were off for a friendly hike, while Jeremy's feet felt like someone had tied literal weights to them. His stomach tossed and turned, and he stopped several times to heave while leaning against a tree for support. As soon as they reached their campsite, his dad dropped the thing near the remains of their last fire. At least we'll have some meat tonight. Huh? You think I'm going to let this go to waste? Damn bony piece, but it's still better than eating out of cans again. Now get me a fire started while I fetch some more wood. Jeremy stared at his dad while his words sank in. You mean we're going to eat this thing? This unit thing? His dad spat at the ground. You gone soft on me, boy? Jeremy shook his head. No, sir. Good. Fix the fire. I'll be back in a few minutes. But he didn't return. Not that night, and not ever again. The police had no theories, and neither did his mom. Only Jeremy knew what really happened, and he would never tell. When darkness fell, the woods filled with an eerie music like nothing he'd ever heard before. Creatures from his maddest nightmares filed into the camp and carried off the unicorn's remains in some kind of funeral procession. He watched from his tent, terrified of being seen yet unable to turn away. The very last thing he saw was his father at the end of the procession, following the creatures off into the darkness. The horn is in Jeremy's room now, sitting atop his computer monitor. At night, when the air is still, he can almost hear music far away, and the horn glows bright gold. So that's that story, A Huntin' We Will Go, by Linda J. Dunn. Nicely done. I like that one. Fredward, how about you? Oh, yeah, he loves it. He's speechless today. He hasn't been talking much. I don't know. He's probably fucking hungover or something. He had a lot of tequila last night. Anyway, so that's the mini spooktacular story that I was talking about. And I'll be reading more stories from that book more often. But we're also going to start getting into some specific type of horror type of stuff, like vampires, werewolves, the backstories on those types of things. Friday the 13th, we, of course, every year do the annual Jason Voorhees type of stuff and his backstory. Fredward gets dressed completely in the gear, the hockey mask, big green jacket, and all the good stuff. So that'll be fun. We'll probably do more on serial killers because I got this amazing book that's like this thick. It's like the serial killers of the whole country. Actually, there might even be some from other countries too. I started to read it and I was like, holy shit, I need to do something with this. So we're definitely going to do multiple stories on that as well. I hope you'll stay tuned for that. If you like this little short story that you've seen here tonight, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and I'll be on every Sunday. Fredward and I also do, we do the scary story time on Sundays, but we also do horror cosplay, small or short clips like skits and stuff like that. So I think you'll enjoy it. Fredward just made an update yesterday. He will soon have his own Instagram, and he's going to be releasing some merch. I am so proud of him. So proud. So his merch is pretty cool. It's very, it's horror, obviously, but it's very campy type of horror, like the 80s and 90s type of stuff that we absolutely love. It's actually the type of stuff that made us want to do these scary stories in the first place. So I hope you will subscribe and stay tuned for all the goodies that are coming. All right, I better go have a snack. I'm a little bit hungry. I love you guys, and I will see you soon. All right? Good night.